Okay, class. So, welcome to our Module 4. So, actually, this is the continuation of our Module 3 last 2 weeks ago. So, in Module 3, let us have a recap. Okay, so in that particular discussion, okay, we have demonstrated the following topic: creating and modifying list ranges, created advanced filters, create subtotals and grand totals, and also we discussed about group and outline data, apply data validation, circle invalid data, remove duplicate values, and name a cell range. Alright, so in module 3, okay, so please don't forget to answer the given exercises at the end of your module. Alright, so now for module 4, we will be covering the following: modifying text formatting and text content using formulas, perform what if analysis, use conditional logic in a formula, display print formulas, and also we will be demonstrating on how to insert object to add emphasis to your data worksheet. And also we will discuss about inserting charts, okay, so that we can have our data in visualization format. And lastly, we will also demonstrate on how to insert and use the sparklight, so a new added features in Microsoft Office. So if you are ready and I'm ready, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm Mr. Jeffrey L. Evangelista, your assigned professor for this module 4. And of course, together with your professor, Miss Richelle Escoto, Desalin De Castro, and Sir George Granados. So welcome to the module 4. Alright, so let us discuss modifying text formatting using formulas. So you can use database functions to analyze and modify data. A database function is a formula that acts on only those items that meet a certain criteria or conditions. So each of those items is called an argument. So to make analyzing data easier, you may want to convert the text from uppercase to lowercase or to a proper case to improve the worksheet's readability. To modify text with a formula, you can use the upper function to make the text uppercase, or the lower function to change text to lowercase, or the proper function to make only the first letter case. Okay, so don't forget the three function that we will be using for this particular topic: the upper, the lower, and the proper. Alright, so sometimes we need to modify text content using formulas. So you can use formulas to change the content of your worksheets. For instance, the substitute function allows you to substitute one word for another quickly. As the data in your worksheet continues to change, this function can be very helpful. Okay? Alright, so how about the what if analysis tool? Okay. So you can perform a what if analysis to test possible outcomes. So in Excel, allows you to create what if scenarios for each possible situation so that you can compare the scenarios and make a decision. A scenario is a version of your data that you save and name. What if scenarios are useful if some values in your worksheet cannot change but others can. For example, if you have a budget that contains 9 advertising options, you can change the values of each option without changing the budget total. So, in this demonstration, okay, we will create two scenarios in which you set your upper and lower spending limits on newspaper ads. Okay? So, don't forget to download or have a copy of our demonstration file. So, this time we will be using blues2.xlx. Okay, so the file is available in our LMS using Edmodo. Alright, so modifying text formulas. Okay, in this particular demonstration, I'm using blues2.xlx and I'm using the advertising plan worksheet. Alright, so in the home, okay, so click the home and then cells and then insert cells. Okay, so as you observe, we will be adding a new row in our advertising plan. Okay, so now you may click A4. Okay, so we will be using the uh, the function lower. Okay, then after that we will be using the function upper. Okay. Alright, so for the demonstration substitute, okay, under modifying text content using formulas. So in here, we will demonstrate how to actually use the function substitute to remove the ADV letters, okay, in our promotion code. Alright, so we will be removing ADV, okay, so that's why we will be using substitute function. Okay, so let us continue the demonstration. So this time, watch the demonstration about what if analysis tool. Okay, so again, in Excel, it allows you to create what if scenarios for each possible situation so that you can compare the scenarios and make a decision. Alright, so in this example, we have a budget that contains nine advertising options. So you can change the values of each option without changing the budget total. Okay, so that's why in these exercises, alright, you will create two scenarios in which you set your upper and lower spending limits on newspaper ads. For this demonstration about our topic, what if analysis tool, so another scenario that you need to observe. So in here, basically we just add okay, an adds high and adds low in our scenario manager dialog box. So I want you to observe the column B, especially the total under the column B. Okay, so if we choose adds high, then observe the amount total, and then if we choose adds low, so observe the amount in total. Okay, so that's how useful is the scenario manager. Okay, so for this particular topic, we need to install an adds-in into our Microsoft Excel. Okay, so that's why you need to watch carefully the demonstration on how to add the required add-in in our Microsoft Excel application. Okay, so after that, we will be demonstrating on how to use the add-in that we installed in our application. So the name of the add-in is the solver. Okay, so in Excel includes several extra features. Okay, so as I mentioned, they are called adds-in, so that you can install if you need. Okay, so for example, the solver add-in changes one or more cells to find a solution based on criteria that you set. So that's why in the demonstration, you will use the solver to change the values for posters and buttons. So 5% of the advertising expenses is spent on posters. You will also set the constraint or limit that the total cannot exceed. Alright, so now let's proceed to our next topic, sum if and sum ifs in a formula. So in Excel, the sum if or sum and if function adds all numbers in a range of cells based on a given criteria. You can also use sum ifs to add values in a range based on multiple conditions. So in the demonstration, you will find the sum of the advertising methods that cost less than $500. You will then use the sum ifs function to find the sum of the low budget methods that accounted for less than 5% of the total cost spent on advertising in June, but more than 4% of the total cost spent on advertising in July. So please see demonstration about sum and sum ifs formula. Okay, so for this part, we will be demonstrating the count if and count ifs in a formula. So the count if function is a formula that counts the number of cells within a range that meet a given criteria. So a criteria can be in the form of a number, expression, or text that defines which cells will be added. For example, criteria can be expressed as 12, okay, as number, or it can be 12 as a string, or it can be as greater than 12, or a string data, or it can be C4. So those are the examples. So it is often convenient to use the count ifs function to count the number of cells within a range that met multiple criteria as well. For example, a business can use the count ifs function to count the number of times its sales personnel exceed a sales quota or sales goal. So in the demonstration, you will count the number of times CD sales appear in the table and how many times the sales for CDs exceed $300. Alright, so make sure you have the copy of the files. So these files are actually available in our LMS Edmodo. So this is module 4. So make sure you have the Blues 2, XLX, Downtown 2, the image fireworks, and the toys.lxx. Okay, so all demonstrations, okay, are based on this following file. So that's why make sure you have your copy. Okay, so this is the content of the Blues 2 XLX, alright, and this is the content of the Downtown 2. Okay, so we will be using this in our demonstration, And we have also the toys.lxx. Alright, so we will be using this in our demonstration. So that's why if you want to follow along in our discussion, make sure you have the following file. And don't forget the image fireworks. Okay? Alright. Okay, class. So now let us continue our discussion. So let us proceed into conditional formatting and using conditional formatting rules manager. So actually, you can apply conditional formatting to a cell, okay, or table to help you analyze data. Conditional formatting changes the appearance of a cell or cell range only if it meets certain conditions. Okay? Alright. The formatting can include changes such as cell or font color, italics, strike-through, borders, highlighting, or shading to emphasize the values. For example, a data bar adds a colored bar to a cell based on the value of the data. A color scale varies colors based on the values in a range. An icon set allows you to highlight specific values with preset icons such as arrows, flags, and symbols. Okay, all these tools make it much easier to see a trend or pattern in the data. Okay, so basically this is more on visualization, so that you can easily recognize your data, so that you can easily interpret your data. Okay, so make sure you watch the demonstration carefully on how to apply this conditional formatting. How about the use of the conditional formatting rules manager? So basically, this is just a dialog box. So use the conditional formatting rules manager to create, edit, delete, and view all conditional formatting rules in a worksheet or workbook. When formatting rules do not conflict, both rules are applied to the range of cells. For example, if one rule formats a cell range with a yellow background and another rule formats the same range with a bold font, both rules are applied. If the rules are in conflict or are not in agreement, okay, the conditional formatting rules manager applies the rule that appears higher in the list. To clear a rule from selected cells or from an entire sheet using the ribbon, choose Home, okay, then Styles, then Conditional Formatting, and then Clear Rules. Alright, so in the demonstration, you will see on how we edit our formatting rule using the formatting rule dialog box. Okay, class, so let us continue our discussion. So make sure you have the copy of the file toys.lxx and the image fireworks.png or jpg. Okay, so inserting and modifying a graphic. So actually a graphic is an object, alright, so that we can insert in our worksheet using Microsoft Excel. So a graphic is often a picture file, but tables, charts, screenshots, and shapes are also graphics. So when you select a graphic or illustration, the Picture Tools contextual tab opens. So you can use the tools on this tab to insert and do modification of the pictures or enhancements. You can sharpen or soften an image or change the picture's contrast or difference between light and dark. So you can also change the brightness or overall lightness or darkness of a picture. You can resize a graphic by dragging its sizing handles. Okay, sizing handles are dots or boxes that appear around the edges of the graphic you have selected. Corner sizing handles resize graphics proportionally. Okay, so that's why you need to scale the graphic properly. So increasing or decreasing the scale of a graphic if you want to change its size in percentages. For instance, you can make a graphic 10% bigger or 15% smaller to change the graphic back to its original size. Change the size or the scale to 100%. Okay, so make sure you watch the demonstration carefully on how we insert object in our worksheet. Okay, because adding image or graphic into our worksheet, alright, so we actually adding an additional value in our data presentation. Okay, so make sure you have the file so that you can follow along in our demonstration. Okay, so this one is very important when we are trying to do data visualization. Okay, so we're trying to convert the numerical value in our worksheet into a graphic form like the chart. So that's why applying formats to charts and diagrams is an essential skills, okay, when you're working with this kind of data presentation. So charts and diagrams offer a graphical representation of data that helps you better visualize and analyze it. After you create a chart, there are many different ways it can be formatted and modified. For example, you could change the font size of the chart, the title, alter the color and appearance of the background, or add shading to the legend. The legend is the part of the chart that indicates what each color or pattern represents. To format part of a chart, double-click it. In these exercises, you will create and format a chart that displays the 2011 sales and 2012 sales goals. Okay, so make sure you have the file toys.lxx so that you can follow along with the demonstration. So please watch carefully the demonstration on how to apply formats to charts and diagrams. Okay, so we will be now discuss the last part of our module 4. Okay, so this time we will be demonstrating the application and modification of the spark lines. Okay, so what is this spark lines? All right, so actually, to make analyzing data easier, you can use Microsoft Office Excel new Sparkline feature to show data trends with just one click. Okay, a Sparkline is a tiny chart that shows data trends within the background of a single cell. In Excel, includes three types of sparkling or sparkline charts. So the line, the column, or win and loss. So which allow you to see trends or patterns at a glance. You can also use the Sparkline tools to change the Sparkline's type, show or hide data points, or format the axis. To apply specific formatting to a Sparkline chart, choose the Sparkline color or marker color commands. So this is actually a very interesting feature, okay, the Sparkline feature in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so this is a very useful tool when you want to have a quick analysis of a certain column or a certain cell in your worksheet. Okay, so please watch closely the demonstration so that you will get an idea on how to apply a sparkline in your worksheet. And that's all for our Module 4 Microsoft Excel. Thank you for your listening and thank you for your patience in following our demonstration. So again, this is Mr. Jeffrey Alabangista, your assigned professor for this particular topic. If you have questions or clarification, please drop me a message in our LMS using Edmodo. Again, thank you and God bless.